I owe you an update on the banking situation. The last time you heard from me about this, it was 2 a.m. and Congress had just met via Zoom because we were in the early stages of a bank panic and we could see a domino effect starting. The situation has improved, and here's what we've learned. First, this whole panic started with a group chat. About 3 weeks ago, a handful of depositors with Silicon Valley Bank saw an announcement that it had just lost a couple $2 billion on some investments, so they started texting each other that they should take all their money out. That spilled onto Twitter, it went viral, and within just a few hours, depositors at that bank withdrew $42 billion and killed the bank. That much money has never been withdrawn from a bank that fast. Set a record. Another $100 billion was set to go out the door the next day, but the bank failed before those orders could be executed. It was the world's first social media-driven bank run. The combination of digital banking, which makes withdrawals easy, and social media, which spreads fear quickly, means that money can now flow out of banks much faster than confidence can be restored. And that's the whole challenge. Second, after we saw 2 banks fail, the next domino to fall was going to be a regional bank called First Republic. But it hasn't failed, and here's why. Since all this began, what you've seen is people withdrawing money from regional banks and moving it to big banks. In the last few weeks, those big banks have taken in hundreds of billions of dollars in new deposits. So what we asked these big banks to do was to take some of the money they've just received and transfer it back into this regional bank that was in a lot of trouble. The idea was to change that bank from a domino into a firewall. That was over 2 weeks ago, and it may have worked. First Republic stands. Third, the first of many congressional hearings on these bank runs was held last week, and it is already clear that the run-up to all of this involved failure on multiple levels. Executives at Silicon Valley Bank made bad investments and then sold millions of dollars worth of their own stock just days before telling everyone else that they had lost a bunch of money. Federal regulators didn't step in soon enough, despite clear signs that they should. Congress rolled back regulations on banks like the ones that are in trouble right now about 5 years ago, which allowed them to take more risk with less scrutiny. And, of course, some depositors with Silicon Valley Bank worked themselves up into such a frenzy that they started a bank run that took out their own bank and then spread. Bottom line is that no one's declaring victory, but the situation is much better than it was 2 weeks ago. I'll keep you posted.